Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something that every single one of us deals with, but maybe don't fully get: stress. We're going to break down what it really is, how it pops up in our lives, and most importantly, how we can actually get a handle on it. So let's just jump right in. So let's start with a really direct question for you. What is stress really doing to you? It's so easy to just brush it off as a mental thing, right? That feeling of being totally overwhelmed. But the truth is, it's so much deeper and more complex than that. Because you see, stress isn't just a feeling trapped in your head, it's a full body experience. It's physical, it's emotional, it's social, and it can create these ripple effects that touch literally every part of your life. Now, take a look at this breakdown into the 5 dimensions of health. This is where it gets really interesting, because you can see the domino effect in action. Think about it. A physical headache, well, that can easily lead to emotional irritability. That irritability makes it hard to focus mentally, which then might make you want to withdraw socially from your friends. See? It's all connected. Okay, so if stress is hitting us on all these different levels, how in the world do we catch it before things get totally out of control? Well, that's where learning to recognize the red flags comes in. Your body has its own built-in SOS system, and it is absolutely crucial that we learn to listen to what it's trying to tell us. Sometimes the very first sign is just this profound sense of fatigue. And I'm not talking about just being a little tired. I mean that deep, down to your bones exhaustion that a good night's sleep just doesn't seem to touch. And that exhaustion, well, it can really quickly turn into this: irritability. All of a sudden, the smallest things are setting you off. Your patience with your family, your friends, your coworkers, it's just gone. And then the mental fog rolls in. You find yourself reading the same email 3 times, or you just can't seem to make a simple decision. Now, this isn't some kind of character flaw. It's a classic sign that your brain is just overloaded. And of course, the signs don't stop there. Maybe you've noticed you're eating way more or way less, or that knot of tension in your shoulders just never goes away. Or maybe you find yourself procrastinating on tasks you used to just do. Does any of this sound familiar? If it does, that's your body sending up a flare, asking for a change. Now here's the thing. When we start feeling all this pressure, our brains are literally hardwired to protect us. The problem is, sometimes those protective instincts lead us straight into these really common, but totally unhelpful traps. Let's take a look at the defense mechanisms we all tend to fall back on. I mean, just picture a really tough week at work. We might start off with denial. Oh, it's fine. This isn't really a problem. Then maybe we shift to projection. It's my coworker's fault. I'm so stressed. We rationalize skipping a workout. I have a perfectly good reason. And then we find ourselves getting angry at the slow driver in front of us. That's displacement. You see how easily we fall into these things? And this, right here, is the crucial point. Yelling in traffic might give you a split second of release, but it does absolutely nothing to solve the actual issue back at the office. These are just short-term patches. They don't fix the source of the stress. Okay, so we've talked about the problem, we've looked at the unhelpful traps. Now for the most important part: your stress management toolkit. It's time to shift from just reacting to being proactive and start building some positive, effective habits. A really powerful place to start is with something called SMART goals. Instead of a super vague goal like, I want to be less stressed, what does that even mean, right? This framework makes you get really clear. You create a goal that's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So for example, I will go for a 20-minute walk 3 times this week. Now that's a goal you can actually do and track. And for those bigger stressors, the ones that feel way too big to handle, this 4-step method can be a total game changer. It gets you out of that I'm so overwhelmed spiral. First, you just clearly define the real problem, not just the feeling. Then you brainstorm some options, you pick one and act on it, and then you see what happened. It's a simple little loop that breaks a huge issue down into manageable pieces. And this slide right here, this is your arsenal. These are the proactive tools you can pull from every single day. And notice how they touch on all those dimensions of health we talked about earlier. Physical things like exercise, mental strategies like time management, and social support like talking to a friend. The real power comes from mixing and matching these to figure out what works for you. And please, remember this. You don't have to completely change your entire life overnight. Taking back control isn't about some huge, dramatic gesture. It's all about the small, consistent actions you take day in and day out. It's about progress, not perfection. So, I'll leave you with one final question to think about. Take one more look at that toolkit. Think about your life, right now. Which one of those tools, just one, are you going to use first? The choice is all yours. And that, right there, is where getting a handle on stress really begins.